Hi guys, today I filmed my everyday makeup. I do work in an office and so I kind of have to tone it back a little bit more and kind of keep it more demure, but I still do like to look pulled together and kind of look like like a real person, because I can look pretty dreadful sometimes in the morning. I am not a morning person. This makeup does take me about 20 minutes to do in the morning. That might seem like a lot of people. This may seem like a lot of makeup to some people because I guess it kind of is, but that's just how I am. It's just my style. It's what I like. You don't have to do every step. You can feel free to pick and choose the steps that you want to do to kind of make yourself look more fresh and awake. I do work in an office, so I do kind of have to tone it back a little bit, but I still like to look put together. So this is pretty much what I look like from day to day. I don't really pay attention to my hair. I kind of just let the makeup speak for itself. But yeah, it takes me about a half hour from the time I wake up to the time I walk out the door, so I don't think that's a lot at all. I just kind of chuck some dry shampoo in my hair, kind of let it do whatever it wants to do, brush my teeth and get dressed, and that is pretty much my morning routine. I do have a train to catch in the morning, so I need to get up and going, and a lot of times I kind of hit the snooze button too many times. So I feel like half hour really isn't that bad, but yeah. I did film this as a talk through, but I don't know if I'm just gonna do a voiceover when I see the footage, because I feel like I'm so awkward on camera. For some reason, when I press record, like I just like freeze up and become this like weird person who doesn't know how to talk or anything. But I did talk through it and kind of gave some tips and tricks throughout it. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I don't have a microphone right now. Excuse my nails. They're awful, and my roots. I'm just such a mess. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye guys! The first thing I always do, because I do have extremely dry skin and I do have eczema, and I'm going for a matte finish today, so I want to make sure my skin is really moisturized underneath. I am going to use, excuse my nails, they're just horrid. Horrid. Just, I'm going to use the Aveeno Eczema Therapy to moisturize my face. Okay. Alrighty. Let's put some of that there. Now I'm going to start with my eyes so I can give the moisturizer time to settle into my skin. Now the first thing you always have to do, always, I think people underestimate the power of primers. So I am using the MAC Painterly Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. It's just pretty much the same color as my skin, so I'm just going to apply that all over my lid with my finger, and it also helps with canceling out any discoloration or redness or any of the dark circles or the veins in my eyes, so all the colors that you apply on top show up more true to color and it blends a lot easier. The palette I'm going to be using, I've used a few times in my videos already because I just love it. I think it's so versatile, is the Stila palette. This is the Eyes Are the Window line that came out with, and it's in the Mind. I believe there's 4 of them. This is the one with all matte shades. So the first thing I like to do is set my base with a color that's pretty much the same as the base so that the eyeshadows blend easier on top. So I'm just going to mix these 2 cream colors together and just put that all over my lid. Now the first color, I'm not going to go too crazy with the eyeshadow again, because this is for a look that we're going to be using like in the office or the day-to-day, or just if you want to look pulled together when you go somewhere. So the first color I'm going to use is this medium light brown right here, and I'm going to use a fluffy blending brush from Morphe. Now I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to go in with this mauve color right here. I'm just going to put it on the very tip because we're going to keep this more precise in the crease area. So I'm just going to put it just on the tip right there. Tap the excess. You always have to tap the excess. And then just put it more tightly in the crease area, not as buffed out as the light brown. Then I'm going to take a really fluffy brush. This is a Sigma E40. It's a clean one. I'm just going to go over everything I just did to make sure it is nice and blended. I'm going to go back with that flat shader brush from before, and I'm going to mix those two cream shades again, and I'm going to put that all over my lid. And then I'm going to go in with a Sigma E25. This is the blending brush. Sorry, it's a little dirty. But I'm going to go back in with that mauve shade, just a tiny bit. And I'm just going to give a little bit more definition in the outer corner of the eye. Just going to first pack it onto the outer corner right there. That's where you want most of the product. And just start blending it into the crease. And I'm just keeping it on the outer edge of my eye. And then what I like to do is I take another blending brush. You can use the Sigma E40 again, or just another clean brush, and I just like to go over it to kind of diffuse it a little bit. Again, pack it on the outer corner right there, and then just start bringing it into the crease, just on the outer third. And then I'm just going to go back in one more time with a flat shader brush and kind of clean up those cream colors on the lid. And just one more time, go back and just blend it out to make sure everything just flows together. Now I'm going to take a brown eyeliner. You can use any brown liner. The creamier the better, because we are going to smudge it out. I am using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On in the shade Demolition. So I'm just going to place that on the outer third of the eye. It doesn't have to be neat or anything. Just right up against the lashes on the outer third. Like so. Then I'm going to take an angled brush. I'm going to take a small angled brush like this one, and I'm going to take the dark brown from the palette right here, just on the edge of the brush. Tap off the excess. I'm going to go in and smudge out that liner. I'm going to kind of pull it out a little bit into a winged liner. Now I'm going to go in with my two favorite mascaras ever. The first one is the L'Oreal Miss Manga mascara. I'm just going to put on a coat of that on my top lashes. And then I'm going to go into my L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. I think this is just the original one. Oh my god, I love these mascaras. Alright, and so we are done with the eyes for now, and now I'm just going to move to my face. I use two primers, one all over my face to kind of prolong the wear of my makeup throughout the day, and one to kind of fill in my pores in the center of my face. Although I have extremely dry skin, I have pores like the size of the Grand Canyon. It's bizarre. I'm just like a contradiction. So the first one I'm going to use all over my face is the NYX Angel Veil primer. The next primer that I use to fill in my pores and my T-zone area is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. It's the pore minimizing one in the purple packaging. And just focusing it mostly right here, because that's where majority of my obnoxiously large pores are. The next thing I always do is take my Hard Candy Glamoflauge Heavy Duty Concealer, and I use like the tiniest bit, like I'll show you. A dot. I put on the wrong finger. a dot. I tap it on the back of my hand, so I only have a little bit on my finger, and I just go in the areas where I feel like I need more coverage, which for me is my cheek area, because that's where I do tend to break out and I have some scarring right now, and just any redness around my nose. So honestly, like, I have like the tiniest bit on my finger. I'm just going to tap that over the areas where I need more coverage. Now it's time for my foundation. The one I've been using a lot lately, which I have recently rediscovered, is my Makeup Forever HD foundation, and this is in the shade 118. And I like it because it has a pump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump one pump on the back of my hand, and that's going to be enough for 1/2 of my face. So I'm going to take my Sigma F80 flat top kabuki brush. I'm just going to pick some of that product up and start stippling it into my skin. I recently stopped buffing it into my skin. Now I only stipple it and press it into my skin, and I find that it looks better and it lasts longer throughout the day. So I'm just going to tap it into my skin until it is nice and buffed out, and always make sure you bring it down your neck a little bit so you don't have a line of demarcation. So my face is always a different color from my neck. And make sure you blend it on top of your ear too. Now, sadly, I am out of my holy grail concealer, MAC Pro Longwear, and I am trying to save money right now and not buy any makeup. So I kind of went digging into my own collection and trying to find other concealers. And where's my concealer? The one I've been liking recently is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Concealer. This is in the shade Light, and I like it because it's in a twist-up tube, so I don't have to put it on my hand or anything. So I'm just going to put this underneath my eyes, a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and my chin. A tiny bit. You really don't need much for day to day, but I really feel like this helps make me look more awake and kind of lifts my under eye area, because my eyes can kind of look a little bit droopy if I don't. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit, an upside down triangle right here. And this concealer is really creamy. A little bit down the bridge of my nose and a little bit on my chin. And then I'm going to take my tapered kabuki brush from BH Cosmetics. Again, just tapping motion underneath. Just tapping to blend it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and when I pull it back to my temple, and then I'm going to make sure I get right up in the outer corner of my eye, because it's going to clean up that eyeshadow. So now I always like to set my concealer, so I'm going to use my NYX HD Studio Powder, and I think this is an exact dupe for Makeup Forever HD Powder, I swear. Like, they make this powder in the same factory, split it in half, one goes in Makeup Forever packaging and one goes in NYX HD packaging. And I'm so glad I tried this before I bit the bullet and bought the full size of the Makeup Forever HD Powder, because that's expensive. And this is like a fraction of the price from the drugstore. So I'm so glad that I found this. I'm going to use this with a Real Techniques setting brush. I'm going to set my under eye area with this powder. And again, in patting motions, no swiping. Swiping, not allowed. Swiper, no swiping. Okay? Patting motions. That was for you, Stephanie. The next thing I'm going to do is I tap a little bit into the lid, and then I take a big brush. This is the Sigma Large Powder F20. I'm just going to take this powder and set the rest of my face, because I've kind of been feeling more of a matte look recently. Now that my base is pretty much done, I'm going to go back and finish my eyes and my eyebrows. For my lower lash line, I'm going to go back to the Stila palette. I'm going to go in with that light brown shade again with a pencil brush. I got this brush, it's double-ended, a pencil brush and like a dome brush here. I got this at Walgreens like so long ago, and I'm completely obsessed with it. It doesn't have a name or anything, but it's from Walgreens. So I'm going to take some of that light brown shade. I'm just going to buff that underneath my under eye area. Now I'm going to take another brush that I got from Walgreens. Again, double-ended. I always use the side for my highlight. So I'm going to take this light cream shade right here. I'm just going to highlight the brow bone and kind of clean it up a little bit. So that's it for the eyeshadows. I am then going to take this Rimmel Scandaleyes waterproof Kajal liner, and this is in like a nude cream shade, and I'm just going to put that in the waterline because that helps you again look more awake and fresh. And then the last thing for my eyes is I'm just going to coat my bottom lashes with the L'Oreal Manga Mascara. Now I'm going to take my Anastasia contour kit. This isn't the original colors that comes with it. I did order a couple. But I'm going to use this shade right here. I think this is the shade Camel. I'm going to use a big fluffy Morphe brush. I'm just going to use that to bronze and warm up my skin. Just kind of putting it everywhere, not really focusing on contouring right now. Just kind of buffing it out everywhere, and make sure you take it down your neck. I always like to take it around my forehead and my hairline because I have a rather large forehead, so I do like to add some definition up there. So now I'm going to take my Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour Brush. I've been using this to contour a lot for a daytime look. Sorry, the hair. And then I want to take this shade right here. I think this is called Java. I'm just going to take the tip and swirl it in, tap off the excess, and just lightly contour my cheeks, and then just blend it out. Nothing too crazy. I know I tend to go a little heavy-handed with my bronzer and contour. I always start at the top of my ear right here and bring it down to my mouth, but I kind of stop right here with most of the product, and once I feel like I deposited most of it, I kind of go in circular motions to blend it out. And I kind of sometimes like to round out my cheeks because I feel like I have a very thin face, so sometimes I like to round out my cheeks right here to kind of give me more apples. Then if you feel like you went a little crazy with it again, I always go back in with a clean stippling brush and kind of just buff everything out. So recently I haven't really been wearing blush, which is weird, I know, but I've kind of been on a no-buy for makeup lately, so I've kind of been like shopping within my own collection because I just have so many products I don't even use, so I can't justify buying new products right now, and my wallet can't justify it either. So I've kind of dug into my collection and I've kind of been digging out some of these products that I either haven't used in a long time or I've never really used before. This is a product that I bought a long time ago and never really used it. It's the Wet n Wild's Coloricon bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. And it's a bronzer, but it kind of has like a slight sheen to it, nothing crazy. So I do take it on this Real Techniques Duo Fiber Face Brush and kind of take a little bit. I kind of brush it over where my blush would be and my bronzer. So just, again, to warm up the skin a little bit more, I have like the tiniest bit on my brush. I'm just going to buff it in this area right here. Did you like that face? Now I always like to highlight my face. So now I'm going to use my Becca highlighter in the shade Opal and my Sigma F35 tapered highlighter. I'm going to take a tiny bit, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to put this on the tops of my cheekbones. So you kind of just give yourself a nice little glowy sheen, and I put the excess on the bridge of my nose and a little bit on my chin. And that's it. That's pretty much it for my face. The last thing I do is my lips. and I pretty much use the same thing for my lips every day. Not always the same products, but it pretty much all comes to the same color. So I'm going to go in with my MAC lip liner in the shade Soar, which is kind of just like a mauvey pink color. And I'm just going to line my lips. And I like using lip liners during the day because it makes the lipstick last so much longer, so I don't really have to worry about applying lipstick until like the afternoon, for me, usually. So I'm just going to line my lips and fill them in completely. Sometimes I just wear this lip liner on its own, but today I'm going to put a lipstick on top, and this is the Milani matte lipstick in the shade Innocence, which is a really fairly nude color. So I'm just going to put that on top of the lip liner. The very last thing I do makeup wise is I go in and I curl my lashes. I know you're not supposed to curl your lashes after, but I do, so whatever. I hold it and I get it right up against the root of my lashes. Make sure you don't clip your eyelids, and I pump it 5 times, and I kind of hold it extra on the last pump. So then, I don't know if you can see a difference. These lashes are kind of lifted more as opposed to these. I just feel like it makes a huge difference. And that's it. Done with the makeup.